Welcome to this new episode of The Disabled Life. The purpose of this podcast is to tell people how I live my life. The name I'm using on the podcast now is The Disabled Guy, because I felt that you needed to hear something as opposed to just my voice there. I'm a disabled male living in Florida with cerebral palsy. I'm here to tell you how I live my life and some of the volunteer work that I do and how I managed to do it with cerebral palsy. Without further ado, let's go into the episode. Well, before I begin this episode, I'm going to issue a couple of trigger warnings. I'm going to talk about pet death and some illnesses that caused us to put down our pet. So if you don't want to listen to this, feel free to go find something else to listen to. It won't bother me whether or not you listen to this one, but I felt it needed to be done because there's a lot of people in the disabled community that have service animals. Luckily, this was not a service animal. This is an animal that we had that was a pet. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into the episode and tell you my feelings about it. Okay. What happened was he was blind, deaf, etc. So we were told to look out for spinning in one direction. I found that in a video, so I talked to my mom about that, and I started to notice that. So a couple weeks ago, we took him to the vet. The vet said, yes, that's guinea pig. That's when we figured that out. So that was the story on how that started. So he recommended that we put him down. Here comes the part. I was gonna look. This is second pet loss that I experienced as a child that I actually experienced as an adult. As a child, we had a dog that I called Lasting. She was a shepherd, purebred shepherd, so she lost her back legs, but I was not involved in the decision to do it and the decision to put her down. Okay, so now let me tell you why I say it was the second one with an adult. We had a cat. He got his one of his front paws swollen. So we took him to the vet and they checked him and they said, oh no, he is septic. You can do the following. You can either operate on him, but it was going to cost money because they had to be on dialysis for the rest of his life. So we, as a family, we decided that we should put him down. But that one wasn't that tough because that one was something that was done quickly and things of that nature. But this one, I was going to talk to you about that. Put that in the episode, the link. But I didn't find it. I don't know what happened to that link. I didn't have a computer at the time. I was just doing my episodes on a tablet with a condenser microphone that I bought. So now let me go back to the story here and tell you what happened and what I disagree with on these vets. I think that it was harder for us because we knew when it was going to happen, and it was scheduled, and it was to me mourning. I mourned him. My mom did too. I mourned him. It was hard for me because this was planned. We knew what day it was going to happen. We knew what time the appointment was, and it's just something that hurts. It just hurts. I didn't know when I was going to do this episode, but I finally found the strength to sit down today and do it. I had planned to do the episode on the Friday after my family came back home, but I decided no. I was going to talk about the procedure, but due to talking to a fellow podcaster friend, Mama D, she told me that it may bother her and bother other people to talk about that. So I decided, okay, it's because I value people, I value her opinion, and I value other people's opinion. So I said, okay, let me not do that because I feel. So now let me talk about what I felt. That day was a hard day for me, even though I didn't go to the vet with them. But here's the story. So I got up on Friday. No, sorry. I started feeling bad. I don't know when it was. It was a day that Mom went to the vet to schedule the visit. She went shopping after that visit. So I called her and I asked her when that was, because I wanted to start mentally preparing myself for this. So, but that morning, that Friday morning, Sunday of the same week. So that Friday morning I woke up and I was sitting here at my computer and I kept thinking. So my mom used to put his chicken and rice and barley, I think it was, yes, in a food processor. When I heard that food processor go off, turn on, I said, oh man, this is the last time we're gonna feed him. So I sat here, did a podcast to try to distract myself, but I could not do it because I tried to keep the schedule anyway. So the next thing that happened was, oh man, I heard click the leash to take him outside. This was all while I was in the room here. So next, that click the leash means so he would hear and know that we're gonna take him outside. So then I thought that that's the bad one. Then the next thing happened. He peed in the house. On the day before that, he peed in the house. So Mom gave him a bath, and I'm like, oh no, this is the last bath he's gonna get. So I'm like, God. So all this stuff, and I'm gonna say something too. I didn't like this idea. So we're, I'm sitting here down we're sitting here, Mom and I are down all day, I'm trying to be strong, but it's hard, it's weak. So I'm feeling all these things. So, but the reason I feel all this stuff, it was because it was planned and we knew when it was going to happen. So I felt that I went into mourning within a day. I actually went into mourning on the day that I found out that when it was going to happen and the time and everything. That's what got me. When the cat passed away, it was quick. It was an emergency. Whatever. I didn't feel it. I felt it, of course. To this day, I feel that still. It still feels empty. The night, oh God. So let me say something. So at the end there, we used to put him in the kitchen blocked by a board, so he could go. That's where we would put him to sleep. That's where he would sleep at night because it was safe for him and what have you. So that night I felt, oh man, that's the last night. That's Thursday to Friday. So as I was saying, it's a hard time. It's because they're dependent on you. You continue to feed them. You continue to do all the things, but oh no, this is the last time this is gonna happen. This is the last time it's gonna happen. It's hard. It's hard. It's not the same as a person, but you still do mourn. So it is something that I thought long and hard on how to do it. So it's because they're dependent on us. It's like having a child. It's like having a child. It's very difficult to sit there and know. I had a hole in my heart when they left. What I mean by that is I knew that they were going to take him. My mom and dad took him to the vet to put him down. and I felt bad because I knew that was the last time I was gonna see him alive. But also, you think about this: he was existing, he was not living, he had no life, he had dementia, so he was blind, deaf, and going into dementia. So he was gonna get worse and worse and decline. So what the vet said was the last time they saw him before the euthanasia, when they recommended it, they said, well, there's nothing else to do. They were gonna deworm him, etc. But the doctor said, no, don't do anything, nothing for him. And they told us to bring him home and see when we wanted to do it. It was a heart-wrenching decision, but we had to make it. This is something I know. Okay, the reason I talk about this is because there's a lot of us, and that was hard as a regular pet. I know. Could you imagine having to decide this for your service animal? As a disabled person, I don't have a service animal, but it's something hard. It's happened to a friend of mine that he retired his dog, and it died before they took him back to the puppy raiser for him to live there. That was hard. I know those are hard. So I'll tell you, as pet owners, we have to be responsible. We all have to, and it's hard. It is honestly hard. It is. This is an episode that I didn't plan on making, but I really felt that. I really felt that, to be fully transparent, I had to tell you what was going on. I did not know when this episode was going to come out. I did not know anything of that nature. I just went ahead and did what I had to do, and did it because I feel that it's therapeutic for me to do it, therapeutic for you guys to hear what we go through. And this is not something that we go through only as disabled members of the community, but it is different when, luckily it wasn't a service animal. It is different when it is a service animal, because a service animal is always with you. This one, we left at home. He was a pet. Again, I reiterate, I don't have a service animal, so it's not as bad, but still, I feel, I still feel it. The other night, I heard a noise, last night actually, I heard a noise, and I almost got up and said, "Mom, go check on Coco." But I remembered at that point what was going on. So it was, I know, but in the back of your mind you think, I have to feed them, and I have to do this for them, but they're gone. They're in a better place, but it's something that we have to, as humans and pet owners, we live with, and that's something that's really hard. I don't feel at this point that we're gonna get any more pets, but I don't know. You never know. But I feel, I feel strongly about this, letting you know what's been going on, and it's something that I needed to tell you, because I feel that that's something that's very important to me, to tell you what is going on in my life as a disabled content creator, as a disabled podcaster. This is not much disability thing, but that I had to tell you about it because I just felt that this is a way for me to get over the loss, and I can go on with life for now, but still, it's it's hard. I still think I'm in a way, I'm glad that my mom got rid of the dog beds and all that, because it's emotional as something that happened that I didn't like, but it happened. We used to let him lay on the floor. Hold on. He would lay on the floor on a piece of plastic and like old comforters and blankets. They left them on the floor, and I was seeing them because I was waiting for a person that was coming to finish fixing a screen door. So so I stayed there watching TV, but also looking at these things, and it was hard for me. I didn't want to say that to mom, but yes, it's hard. That was hard. The pauses that are happening during this podcast is because I'm still getting emotional when I talk about this, but it's something that I need to do. With that, thank you for listening. And this one was hard for me, and I appreciate you listening to this podcast because it's something that we as caregivers, as pet owners, have to do. Luckily, it is not a issue that I had to go through with a service animal, just a standard pet. With that, thank you for listening, and follow me at the following places: Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, and some others there. And also, if you're so inclined, I'm also on Good Pods, and that's something I would appreciate you give me some ratings and follow me just to see when I post. This one's gonna go out on Wednesday as scheduled, but I didn't know